Greetings to all of you. This is 3 Good Minutes. At least it's our constant prayer that these will be 3 good minutes for you where we reflect for just a moment about life and love and hope for the living of these days. What do you think of? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say prayer? I'm quite sure it's going to be like asking for something. That is simply one door to the wider world of prayer. Of course, when we say, God, I'm thinking tonight about Aunt Louise. She's suffering from a terrible disease, and we pray that you will be with her. I've had my own illnesses recently, and people are constantly saying, we're praying for you. I'm here to tell you that people directing their hopes and their prayers to God have meaning. You can intellectualize it all you want. Oh, well, does it have any results and all that? I'm not interested in that. It has meaning to the person who has knowledge that others are thinking about them in that positive way. But what I'd like you to think about for just a moment is another door to prayer. And that is contemplative prayer. In contemplative prayer, what you do, it's not about asking, it's about simply placing yourself in silence before God and then listening. Notice how much verbiage comes around prayer as we understand it. This one goes the opposite direction of simply placing yourself in the presence of God. I have been able to return to prison to not teach contemplative prayer, but to experience it with the inmates. You have no idea how I'm blessed by what they have taught me. And so on the first go-around, there was a guy who commented that he'd been here 18 years and he's going to be out in another year. And so we did a Gregorian chant, played a recording of one, and then we entered into 20 minutes of silence, 20 minutes of solid silence. And then we came to the end of it. And I called everybody back to the room. And this guy was sitting over here with the most incredible smile and joy on his life. And one of his buddies said, I've known you for 18 years. I've never seen you smile. He said, I have never, ever, ever had a silent moment as long as I have been in prison. If you know prisons, they're a very noisy, noisy place. And he said, I did not know the blessings of simply being silent, and especially in the presence of God. Remember that in the midst of prayer, we think of it most often as asking for something, and that's just fine. But remember this too, what we want is always that which we don't need, or even beyond that, what we ask for most often is not what we get. It was Garrison Keillor who said, what we ask for in prayer is not what we get. What we tend to get is something else that we would have asked for in the first place had we known. We are suffering deeply in our culture for what we lack in silence. May God bless us that, yes, pray for Aunt Louise. But also remember to simply place yourself quietly before God and then listen. This is 3 Good Minutes.